So first of all, Amber, I've got to give you some major props because what you've been able to achieve, not only during the pregnancy, but immediately postpartum has been absolutely phenomenal. Hey, it's Thomas DeLauer, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Amber. And for those of you that don't know Amber, she's a female health expert, a personal trainer, but also a new mommy to our beautiful baby boy, Tommy. So I think there are a lot of women and moms in particular who'd love to know your secrets. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what you've done?
So it's a really big personal achievement for me to be able to get in great shape and then also to be able to get back down to a flat stomach after little Tommy here was born, which is why today I want to show women 3 things that I do to get myself back in shape.
So I'm sure some of the women out there are going to be really surprised on how you did it. So tell us, what was the first key? What's the first thing that you did to really start getting in good shape? Or what's the first tip that you would give people?
Okay, well, prior to my pregnancy, I did a few things, but for the most part, I utilized ketosis and a little bit of intermittent fasting. I didn't even realize that ketosis and fasting were so similar, but maybe you can explain a bit more about how intermittent fasting works.
Totally. So when you're doing intermittent fasting, you choose a certain time of the day to be your fasting window. So and other times are going to be your eating window. So during your fasting window, you're temporarily stopping your eating process. So you're not eating at all. And this gives you more flexibility to eat the foods that you like during your actual eating window, simply because the calories are allocated there. But while intermittent fasting is great for losing weight, the benefits of fasting go far beyond weight loss. Fasting ends up being really powerful when it comes down to energy, when it comes down to mood, and actually with your workout performance as well. And I know from working with a lot of female clients in the past that women tend to be a lot more successful when they intermittent fast, simply because comparatively, looking at other eating plans, it ends up being really powerful by helping the body produce what are called ketones in the body. Now, this is the same thing that you produced when you were on a ketogenic diet. You're still producing ketones, but it's just in a slightly different way. And I'll get to the science of ketones in a second.
That's exactly what I found as well. Even being a mentor for women's wellness, it wasn't always easy to stay on track, and it takes a lot of time to prep and cook all of those meals. Fasting can be really easy for a lot of people, and that's why Thomas and I recommend it for so many women that lead busy lives especially. It uses all the power of ketosis, but without having to eat all the time.
Totally, and it's awesome to hear you say that too, because I mean, I'm always touting intermittent fasting. And for the women out there who want to learn intermittent fasting system that we're talking about, head on over to SixPackAbs.com right now. I just posted a new video there where I'll show you the scientific proof that fasting works, and I'll also give you a few simple things that you can start doing today to ultimately lose weight with intermittent fasting. So anytime you're ready, head on over to SixPackAbs.com to check out the full fasting system. So Amber, while we're here, what was the second key to losing some weight and making sure that you kept your abs?
Okay, so the second biggest key was that I stopped focusing my workouts around cardio, and I started focusing my workouts around much more effective exercises. And I learned this from you as well. You made a really good case for why cardio didn't burn as many calories and why your style of working out was much more effective. So spending hours on the treadmill or doing cardio simply wasn't really effective for me. I mean, it would work for a little bit. I also found, until I knew what I was doing, even weight training was less effective than I had hoped. But one of the things that stuck with me the most was time under tension training, and you do a lot better job of explaining it than me probably, so would you mind sharing that?
Time under tension workouts are really one of the most scientifically proven ways to ultimately torch calories and really put a lot of stress on the muscle, which is what we want to do. It's focusing on what's called the negative part of the exercises, and you're using slower and more controlled form to essentially get more effect on the muscle. For example, check out this clip of Amber and I training together. So in the first clip, you'll see Amber training like a typical person does, lifting the weights up and down, doing as much weight as she can. It's not like she normally trains like that, it's just to depict this is what a lot of people work out like. But here's how I recommend training instead. She's using a lighter weight, and she's focusing on the negative part of the rep. So a good focus is to slowly count to 5 on the way down, and then to lift the weight up smoothly without jerking or using momentum. So even though Amber's using much less weight here, the exercise is going to be a lot more effective when it comes down to toning thighs, glutes, and calves, simply because she's using a light weight and more controlled form. Therefore, she can end up shaping her legs without getting super bulky by lifting crazy heavy weights. All right, so those are the top 2 things that you did to start leaning out and seeing your abs. Intermittent fasting and leveraging ketosis in the body, but also the time under tension training. You said there was a third one, so what's the third thing?
So the third one was finding a great coach. Once I started learning these tips from you, there were like so many things that I realized that I was doing wrong before. And once I started eating and working out the way that you told me to, I started getting much better results.
Awesome. I mean, I never realized that as a good coach to you, because I've always just kind of been your husband, and I didn't realize I influenced you in that way. But
you're a live-in coach.
but I'm glad that it made an impact. And a lot of women end up hitting the gym and working hard on their own, and that's awesome. But just like guys, they benefit greatly from coaches too. In fact, it's really good for anybody, guy or girl, to have a coach. And it's not reasonable to expect yourself to know all the science behind nutrition and exercise. We're all busy people. We can only become experts in certain things, and that's why you hire a professional coach whenever you can. And even more than showing you what to do, you just need a trusted advisor and a friend who can hold you accountable and keep you on track. I mean, even myself as a coach, I have coaches in the other areas of my life to help me. And that's why I want you to check out the video on my site now, because in that video, I'll show you how I personally overcame obesity and actually lost over 100 pounds using intermittent fasting, time under tension training, and some other techniques like ketosis and inflammation monitoring and everything like that. But I'll also show you how hundreds of my clients around the world have transformed their bodies using my coaching as well. I'll also give you a female-specific plan that works really, really well for women when they're trying to get the body that they want when other diets had failed them. So head on over to ScienceBasedSixPack.com and check out that video. I'll see you there.